Okay. I think it's recording. Okay, recording to the cloud.
All right.
Okay. So we are so excited to speak with alumni, especially adult learners. That's where my heart is at, is people returning to school. So if you are thinking about coming back to school, we would love to have you, and I would love to talk to you. Um, we're here today with Christopher DeArcos, and give you a little bit of a bio. Christopher DeArcos is a class of 2005 Hall High School graduate. He's a military veteran and an IVCC alumni. After high school, he enlisted in the Army, serving our country for 9 years as a satellite communication systems operator and maintainer. Upon returning to civilian life, Christopher started working for a local technology and communications company. Upon realizing he wanted to learn more in-depth knowledge about his field so he could hone his skill set and advance in his career, he turned to IVCC. He received support and assistance from our veterans coordinator and was able to use his GI Bill to pursue college education. In 2017, he earned an Associate of Applied Science in Computer Networking Administration, as well as an Associate in General Studies. Today, Christopher is the Vice President of Telecommunications of his company. Before I say anything else, I should probably introduce myself. So, my name is Gracelyn Quessy, and as a student recruitment specialist at IVCC, my job is to encourage prospective students to explore the educational and career options available to them through our campus. Whether you're attending college for the first time or coming back to finish what you started, we are here to assist you in meeting your educational and career goals. We'd also like to take this time to remind you that as your local community college, it is part of our mission to serve as an educational and career resource for all the residents of our district, regardless of whether or not they are current IVCC students. So welcome, Christopher, and thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So returning to school after some time away is an achievement in itself. It takes a lot of bravery and courage to do that. So to start, I want to congratulate you for your accomplishment. And how did you decide that you were ready for your next challenge? And what were the first steps that you took in coming back to school?
So my time in the military, they teach you a lot of skill sets that are specific to your job. And you don't get any kind of college certificates, degrees, or anything for that when you are in the civilian life. I mean, you can put it all on your resume. But what I wanted to do to make my resume even stronger was to have that collegiate knowledge that to kind of like back up what I already had as skills. So I figured to, putting those two things together. Yes, I had skill sets already, but to kind of round everything out, learn my skills on an even broader stage, that college was the way to go. Because they're going to teach you all the fundamentals that you're going to need to build upon once you do get into the career field. So once I got out, being that was my goal, I immediately looked at IVCC. I mean, it's right here nearby. I'm, from Spring Valley, Illinois, so it's not far at all. And I looked at the courses they had to offer, and the computer networking administration course was exactly what I wanted. So from there, I thought, why not? Let's go to the admissions office and see what I need to do next.
Absolutely, yeah. It's your local choice, so support local, check. It's affordable and it's a very high quality education, especially with our ratio of student to faculty. I feel like we get a lot of one-on-one student interaction, and just connections with the instructors, and so that's always a plus.
Oh, absolutely.
And so how did you decide what you wanted to go back to school for?
So in the military, I worked in satellite communications. So my main job was establishing a satellite link so that we could get essentially, secured internet access anywhere on the battlefield. We use it for a bunch of planning, training. But coming back and looking at the civilian life, I didn't see too many job openings that were specific to satellite communications. So I looked at what my counterparts that I worked with did, and the immediate, person that I always worked with on a day-to-day basis doing satellite communications, their main job was computer networking. So a little bit I kind of absorbed over time through them, just working side by side over the years. But I kind of wanted that, that official training in the field of computer networking. So seeing that course open at IVCC, I thought it was vital for me to, kind of pursue it, so that, the job market for computer networking was big at the time. And it a lot of things in the tech field really build off of it. So I thought that was a great foundation to kind of start pursuing.
And sorry, taking a step back, I missed a question, but what were the first steps that you took in coming back to IVCC?
So the first steps, honestly, I had no idea what to even do first. I tried, you try looking online and you can't really, it's a little vague sometimes, but I figured, you know what, let's just go to the campus and actually talk to somebody that knows how to do everything. And it made it so much easier. That was the biggest and most important first step I took, was actually just stepping foot on campus and talking to somebody. And it made everything else so much smoother, so much easier, less stress on my end because I have somebody guiding me through the whole process.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is we love to connect with students, and we love hearing stories like yours when people are like, yeah, no, it was just like you just needed to kind of get that verification from another person
Mm-hmm.
that you were doing the right thing for you at the time. Um,
Absolutely.
so thank you for sharing that. Um, what were your biggest concerns when you were deciding to return to school?
Um, I think that initially I thought that all the younger students were going to outpace me as far as grasping the knowledge. Because they're younger, their brains are more of a sponge than mine is anymore. But it was actually quite the opposite, because now I knew what I wanted to do. Whereas when I first got out of high school, I really had no idea. I just kind of took a few college courses here and there. I started looking at chemical engineer, but it just didn't feel right. And then I ended up joining the military, and it was in the military where I found before I was a satellite communications operator and maintainer, I was a radar repair specialist. So we had radar systems that tracked incoming, outgoing rounds and helped kind of, protect our bases, our troops. And so that was my first taste of electronics. And from the first day I set foot into my classroom and I was starting to undergo training for this radar repair, I knew electronics is what I wanted to do. I just had this, it just came to me naturally. I felt good with it. I felt comfortable. I was eager to learn it. I'm kind of like getting off topic, but then that transition to satellite communications, and then so I knew. So no, I'll bring it back around. So now I knew what I wanted to do, and then seeing these courses and actually getting into them, it was that same feeling. Like I knew this was going to help me with my career, so I wanted to grab every piece of information that I could. And honestly, if I could go back and retake the classes, I absolutely would. I love the knowledge. All the instructors, professors, everyone there they were so knowledgeable. If I had any question whatsoever, they were able to answer it on the spot. if I got stuck with anything, they're able to help coach me through it. Like the staff, the teachers, absolutely amazing. So glad I went.
And that's what's so fantastic about it. I mean, it's like nobody knows that jobs like that exist, like growing up. You know, people are like, I'm going to be an astronaut or a doctor or this. And like they don't know that satellite communications exist or so many other jobs that might now exist when they didn't even, you know, when they were younger, people didn't even know that that was an option. And so it's great to explore. We keep up to date with, um, you know, all the job fields that are really popular or are very much in need of skilled professionals. And we love stories like yours, where it's just like, you know, it just fit. And it was just the perfect path after your military career.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of not the most happy question, but what was the most difficult part of the process for you?
I guess, like I was saying before, is that like general uncertainty of not knowing exactly how to go about it. Because I've been in this military world for, you know, almost 9 years, and civilian life is still kind of new to me. Like you get plopped right back and you have to, it almost feels like you're back at square one and you have to relearn how to do everything. So the process of just even enrolling it seemed overwhelming and daunting. You know, like I said, I struggled on my own at first. I tried to look online. What do I do? And there's so much information, but I couldn't quite figure out what I needed to do. So like I said, the best thing I did was visit the admissions office to get guidance. The admissions office got the ball rolling for me. And then, you know, all the other staff there, the counselors, you know, Ida Brown for the VA, you know, the veterans, you know, helping us with the VA side of the house. I mean, there was just so much help. Everyone was so happy. They had so much knowledge and information, and they just made it so simple and easy that the most difficult part of the process that I thought was difficult actually wasn't as soon as I, you know, stepped foot on campus and started talking to people.
Yeah. That's
So,
fantastic to hear. I
yeah.
mean, like, just it was like, okay, so I'm done with this step. What's the next step? And what can
Mhm.
we, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I see too. Like, I love working with students and like, okay, when they come back to me and they're like, what do I do next? And they're so eager to progress. And it's like, okay, we'll take the next step with you, you know, like it's just that's kind of the way that it works at IVCC is that it's that like it's that touch that we're able to have with students and that reach. You know, it's not a huge campus, and so we're able to connect with students one-on-one, especially when they're able to, you know, communicate back with us and they feel comfortable enough to share their information, their story, because everyone's story is a little bit different.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and so, like, we're able to kind of tailor everything to their needs, and we love hearing about once again, like I can't say it enough, but success stories like yours. So moving on, we know that as a campus community, we know, acknowledge, and respect the fact that adult students typically have a lot more going on in their lives than traditional students who are coming to college straight out of high school. And you've got a lot going on. So one of them, you know, one of the things is we get questions about is that did you have a job while you attended IVCC, and what did your average school day look like?
Okay. This was actually kind of unique in the fact that, you know, I just finished my contract with the Army and I did not have a job upon returning home. So when I first started, I didn't have a job, so I was able to dedicate more time to school during the daytime hours, you know, when most people are usually at work. So starting off, it very much was easier for me to manage. You know, I do have my wife and son at home, so it almost felt like, going to school was my day job, and I came home almost like a normal schedule. As time went on, the company I'm with now, Troy Simplified Technologies, they hired me on part-time just to help with a few odd jobs here and there that they needed extra hands for. And it was only supposed to be a temporary job. So at that time, I was just, okay, I had a few hours free here on this day, or I had a morning off on this day. I would dedicate that time to, to work and getting some hours in there. And then eventually, I wanted more hours of work. So the great thing about IVCC is that, at least through the computer networking administration course, they had plenty of night classes to help kind of suit that schedule. So I could work more hours during the day, and then I went to class at night, and it did make for some very long days. 9-10 o'clock at night, I'm getting home and I just hit the bed and pass out. There were some long days, doing homework on the weekends just to keep up, finding hours where I can kind of either catch up on work or catch up on homework. So it was a tight schedule, but I think that's something that's worth it though. You know what I mean? Like you have to get through the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. You have to endure a little bit of hardship to truly get to any kind of goal you have in life. So if you embrace it, it's really not too bad. It's, and then also one thing I really loved was that all of my teachers there, they're always willing to work with me. So if I have something come up, a family emergency, and let's say I have a test or something going on that day, they will work with you to make sure that you can not only accommodate your personal life, but also your school, your work, whatever comes up. It didn't feel like I was stuck and I was in this like strict schedule. They made it very flexible for you and accommodated you if something, important comes up, such as like a family emergency.
Yeah, and that's what's great about it, is that it is like about community colleges in general. I mean, not just ours, but I mean, it's your community. Like they understand. It's not just purely academic, let's get these people through, but they understand that you're a real person and you have your family and your life outside of this, and
Oh,
they're
absolutely.
so willing to work with you. And especially at IVCC, I mean, coming in from for me as an outsider coming in from outside the region even,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I have never seen a group of people so driven to help their community succeed, their community and their students and everything just succeed. And um, that's something that I'm very proud of that our institution has, and I'm glad that you made note of that as well. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you get a very good blend of, the full blown state campus kind of, college feel with that hometown touch. You know what I mean? Like it's very personable. It's you can relate with each other. You can talk to each other. You don't feel like there's a separation between student and teacher. You feel like you can actually talk to them and they understand and they're willing to work with you. I mean, obviously as a student, you still have to do your part, but as long as you're doing everything you're supposed to, they made it so easy for me and so flexible that I can't complain at all. They really made it a great place to learn.
yeah, that's a fantastic way to put it. It's just like they just understand kind of what's going on. And I mean, okay, I'm not even going to stomp on your words, but yeah, it's so great that they just kind of tailor everything to, they understand what's going on and they just still want you to succeed. And so whatever they can do to help you on your path, like that's what they're going to do. Um, so another question we have is, so we know and acknowledge that students returning to school typically have a lot more going on in their lives than students coming to college straight out of high school. So how did you balance school, work, and family life?
That was kind of tricky. And like I said, it's not easy, but you have to endure some sort of hardship any point in your life. And how you go about that is really what's going to dictate the outcome. So if you take it on and embrace it full force, you have that self-motivation, that mental fortitude to accomplish any task given to you, you know, you're going to, by the time you start and finish, it's gonna, you're not even gonna realize, you know, it's already done. It's let me just see if I can reword that a little bit. Um, you kind of, like I said, you just kind of have to embrace it. Balancing everything was not easy at times, especially like, you know, end of semester, you got all your finals coming up. You have to spend a lot of time studying, making sure, you know, you're going to pass the test and do well. And I'm thankful that, you know, my family, they allowed me to have that time. You know, they helped me, they supported me, because they knew as soon as I get through this and start down my career path, it's all going to make home life that much easier. So they really supported me through it all. Even at work, you know, if I had something coming up and I had to, you know, take some more hours to study, they were able to give me that time. So I had, I mean, this might not be true for everyone, but for me, it just really worked out nice. It was a lot of long hours, like I said before, but I think in the end, it all worked out well. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that sentiment too that you've shared that's like, it's kind of like the return on investment. Like
Mhm.
it's hard to think, oh my gosh, I have to take all these classes or whatever it is, like, but you take it, like one chunk at a time and you just keep working at it. And you're
Mhm.
like, you know what, like the end game is totally worth it. And it may be, a lot of it might be sacrifice and it might be, late nights, early mornings for a while. But
Absolutely.
in the end, that it's like there's a goal that you're working towards. And the more that you push towards it, the more I feel like the instructors are like, well, he's almost done. And they just want to support you.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
as our staff and faculty and everything. It's just like, we cheer like for and we're so happy for the people that reach their educational and career goals. And so it's just like it's a matter of you just being like, okay, you know what, like this isn't the best, this sucks, I'm so tired right now, but I'm going to show up because I know in the end it's going to be worth it and my family's going to benefit from it. And the future's going to be a lot brighter, if I finish this. And it's just the working through it and not looking at the list of classes that you have and be like, this is it. It's just one thing at a time.
Hmm.
And yeah, thank you for sharing about that. Um, so next question is that what campus resources were most helpful as you transition to your new learning environment?
Um, so I have to do a shout out to a couple people. The veterans coordinator, Ida Brown. Holy cow, did she help tremendously. I know I threw her some curveballs and I didn't make her job easy, but she just, oh my God, every turn she had my back. She made sure that I was able to attend all my administrative paperwork was in order for, getting my GI Bill squared away, Pell Grant, everything. So yeah, on the financial side and the veterans side, Ida Brown, thank you so much. You were amazing. My counselor, I say my counselor because every time I went to the counseling office, I always requested her, but Missy Killian helped me so much with getting my schedule in order because that in itself is hard because not every class has the time slot that you're looking for, especially when you're trying to balance that work, family, and school life. And, she always made my schedule work for me. So I could tell her, okay, I have this, and this going on at these times during the week, but I need to take these classes. What can we do? And she would always make it work. And I can't thank her enough for that, because that helps with the previous questions of how did you balance it? And it was with the help of Missy and Ida, they helped me to also balance everything out. So that really helped out a lot. Yeah, and that was pretty much it. I mean, those two alone helped so much. Uh, you know, the staff at the library, the staff in the admissions office, basically every person on staff there contributes so much to make it an easy place to learn. And I just wanted to take this time to thank them all. Thank you.
Well, thank you for thanking us. It just, that's the thing, is we want our students to succeed. And so it's like, well, if we can't answer the question, we want to take you to someone who can. And it's that handoff that we're not like, well, sorry, you're just, that's it. It's like, we want you guys, we want you to have that kind of just like this, the seamless transition, and like to get the help that you need, regardless of what it may be, because we know that there's so many different departments on campus, but we're all working together to help you succeed.
And I think that's something that goes for returning students as well as, you know, fresh out of high school, just starting IVCC. Just really realize that the staff there is really there for you, to help you. Use them, talk to them. They are the greatest allies you have on that campus. If you ever get stuck with a hard situation, talk to somebody. They will help you out and make it much easier for you. And you can just get yourself back on course and do what you want to do and complete your goals.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely, I mean, I don't know if that's sad, but like, I mean, our job is to help you, and like, we live to help you. And but we can't help you if we don't know what's wrong. So we just encourage you to just reach out. You know, if there's just a phone number that you have and you're like, I don't even know if this is the right person, we'll route you to the right direction, and help you get to, you know, we don't know the answer, we'll find someone who does.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to reach out. So our last question today is, what would you tell a student who's thinking about coming back to IVCC after they've been out of school for a while? So they're not someone that just came out of high school, but they're someone that's like, you know, I lived my life, I've been doing some stuff, but like, I need something new. I need to figure out my future. Like, what would you tell them?
I would absolutely say first step, and this is only coming, like I said, from my personal experience of, I tried to do my own research and I felt very overwhelmed. Just do yourself a favor, go to the campus and talk to the admissions office, talk to the counselors, and just let them know where you're at, let them know what you would like to do, and they already have all the information. And they'll tell you what the easiest route is to achieve the goal that you want. That's, I think, is the biggest first step you need to do. And if there's any uncertainty about, well, you know, I'm older, I'm going back to campus, I'm gonna be the old person on campus, which honestly, you know, when I first got back, I was, what was this? This was January of 2016. So I was, what, almost 30 years old. And I felt like I was just going to be the old guy on campus, and you know, I felt kind of awkward a little bit, but it really wasn't, because there's people of all ages, all walks of life there on campus. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter, you know, any of that, because the college is there to help you. And you're going to have peers there of your age and whatever your interests are. So there's all kinds of clubs there, to kind of connect with other people. So like, I was part of the Student Veterans Association there, and it was great just to see other veterans that were on campus that I would never have known unless I went there, and it made it feel like you fit in a bit more. So that's more like on the social side of things. But if you want to talk about like the educational side, if you're like scared of, you know, it might be hard to go back to class, I'll tell you what, it really wasn't. Because like I said, when you know what you want to do as an adult, it is so, you have so much more motivation, so much more focus, because, you know, you're used to dealing with distractions. You know, they don't deter you from learning the stuff you want to learn anymore. I honestly, I say, if older students, go. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'm starting to
Oh yeah,
stumble now, But
And we
yeah,
see
it's
that a lot. Yeah, we see that a lot with our students, like our adult students are coming back to school and everything is like they're so much more focused because they're like, okay, well, I mean, even the ones that maybe had gone to school right after high school and just realized, you know, I just need some time or this isn't for me right now. But for those who are wanting to come back, they're like, this is my goal. I'm gonna reach it and I need your help and we'll help them.
yeah,
Like if they
absolutely.
just are a lot more like, this is it, this is my path. And so we find a lot of success with our students who are returning back to school. And thank you again so much. Like this has been such a wonderful conversation. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your experience as a returning student. We're so thrilled that you decided to come back to IVCC after your service in the military and in the workforce too. And once again, thank you for your service. We hope that your story really inspires other people to just think about what they could achieve when they come back to school, whether it be at IVCC or just any other college. And, you know, as we mentioned earlier, like we're a resource for you to come back to college and to navigate that whole process.
Mhm.
And it's absolutely a possibility to return to school. You're not too old, you're not too experienced, you're not too anything. Like we would just love to have you on campus. Um, I want to share this piece of advice from IVCC alumni, and I think it was 2018 Paul Simon Essay Award winner Laura Peterson, who successfully returned to school after having been a stay-at-home mom for over 20 years. She says, "Never give up, and remember that you're worth every single hour that you will spend in class." We are looking forward to having you on campus. We'd love to have you enroll with us. The first step is to apply. So if you navigate to www.ivcc.edu/apply, it'll get you there. We'd love to help you out on your journey to whatever educational career goals you have. And thank you again, Christopher, for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
If you have any questions or anything, feel free to contact myself, Graceland Questy, once again, student recruitment specialist, or Azra Loveland. She's our assistant director for admissions transfer, admissions records and transfer services. We want to work with you. We love to talk to students. And if there's anything that we can do to help, please reach out to us. Thank you again and have a wonderful evening.